Hey, it's Matt from Dodge Garage. We're going to be doing a series on how to do full maintenance on your 6.1 HEMI. Today, we're going to be doing a quick tune-up on our 2006 Charger SRT8. Before we get started, we're going to give you guys a unique look at the engine. Most of you will probably never see your engine out of the car, so it might be a little bit easier to see everything that we're doing with the engine outside. This engine's out of our 2007 Chrysler 300 SRT8. It's basically the same exact engine. We've taken the covers off so you can see what the ignition coil terminals look like and how the wires connect to them. So before we get started with the tune-up, we're going to talk about the tools and materials needed to do the service. First, we have the ignition coil. There's going to be 8 total. Each ignition coil is going to connect to 2 spark plugs for a total of 16 spark plugs. We have a 3/8 drives ratchet, a variety of extensions, a spark plug socket, a 10mm socket, and a flathead screwdriver to disconnect the electric to the ignition coils. We are going to start off by disconnecting the battery, which is located in the trunk. Underneath the floor of the trunk on the passenger side, you're going to locate the battery. Just pull this handle up here and the battery will be exposed. We're going to use a 10mm wrench to take off the negative side. With the battery disconnected, we're now ready to pop the hood. This is our 2006 Dodge Charger SRT8. It comes factory with a 6.1 HEMI. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull the covers off of the ignition coils. The covers pull up fairly easily. Underneath the covers, it gives you access to the ignition coil wires. Each ignition coil has 2 10mm bolts. Underneath the ignition coil, there's 2 spark plugs per coil. Now that we've removed the plastic cover, we're going to disconnect the electric ignition coil using a flathead screwdriver. There's a little slot towards the front. You stick the screwdriver in, and it pops right up. Now that we've disconnected the electric to the ignition coil, we're ready to remove our 2 10mm bolts. With our 2 10mm bolts removed, we're now ready to pull out the ignition coil. You want to grab it from both sides and pull it straight out evenly. Now we're going to be removing the spark plugs. Some spark plugs are going to be easier to remove than others. That's why we have a variety of extensions. So here we have one of the old ones compared to the new ones. The new ones come pre-gapped, so you don't have to adjust them at all. When you're putting the new spark plugs in, you'll definitely know when you reach the end, you'll feel it tighten up. You really don't have to go any tighter than that. Now we're ready to put in our ignition coil. The ignition coil is going to slide right in the same way you took the other one out. Make sure you go in even on both sides. Now we're going to reinstall the 2 10mm bolts that hold down the ignition coil. After resecuring your ignition coil with the 2 10mm bolts, we're ready to reconnect the electric. I'm just going to take the plug, push it right in until you hear the click. Now we're going to repeat this process on the other 7 ignition coils and spark plugs. When it comes to doing the driver's side, it's basically the same as the passenger. You're going to pull the cover off to access the ignition coils. One of the challenges you're going to face on this side compared to the passenger side is the air intake, as it blocks one of the bolts for the front ignition coil. So we're going to use our wrench. You don't have to completely take off the air intake. You can just loosen up to get out of the way to give you enough access to this front bolt. After that, it's basically the same as you did on the passenger side. Now that we've changed all 8 ignition coils and 16 spark plugs, before you put your covers on, make sure everything's tight. Give a little pull on the wires to make sure that they don't come out. Make sure that they've clicked into the ignition coils before you put your covers on. Now when putting the covers on, you didn't really see this when you were taking it off, but these are the 2 points that you want to make sure click in. Now that we've put our covers on, we've also resecured our air intake. Next, we're going to reconnect the battery, take it for a test drive.